absolutely insane. They've just completely lost their minds. These radical, extreme hypocrites, aka Democrats, they've done the unthinkable. They've chased down our vice president. Where is his Secret Service, by the way? Where in the world is JD Vance's Secret Service? Are we really going to go through this again? Wait till you see this. I'm going to share with you a clip. And by the way, JD Vance being the consummate professional, being somebody who actually cares for America. Remember, this guy served as a Marine in our military. This guy came from nothing. He is literally the personification of the American dream. He actually stopped while he was hanging out with his 3-year-old daughter to talk to these fellow, if you could call them, Americans. First, I want to share this with you. He posted this about the incident. He posted this post on X. Check this out. So immediately following the incident, Vice President JD Vance posted this. Today, while walking with my 3-year-old daughter, a group of, quote, Slava Ukraini, end quote, protesters followed us around and shouted as my daughter grew increasingly anxious and scared. They came after him while he was with his 3-year-old daughter. These deranged, lunatic, sociopathic, psychopathic, lunatic Democrats. I decided to speak with the protesters in the hopes that I could trade a few minutes of conversation with them for them leaving my toddler alone. Nearly all of them agreed. Nearly, but not all, apparently. It was mostly a respectful conversation, but if you're chasing a 3-year-old as part of a political protest, you are a shit person. And you know what, Vice President JD Vance? I couldn't agree more. Just when you think that they couldn't go any lower, just when you think maybe, just maybe, they'll exercise a semblance of sober, cogent, aware thinking, they just stoop lower and lower and lower. I'm going to share this clip of JD Vance doing exactly what he said he was trying to do in his post. Here is the full clip, the full interaction caught on camera of him trying to quell the insanity of these radical, extreme, white, liberal women and more. Check this out.
What to be called up for what they said, the Russians said, was an illegal war there.
Well, sir, I agree. Actually, the Russians do have some manpower problems. The Ukrainians have more manpower problems. The Russians are larger, their armies are larger, they have more population, they have more military age males and females.
Exactly why we should be supporting them.
Like, don't you think it's up to the Ukrainians to decide what they want to do?
Well, again, their support, their ability to continue fighting is heavily dependent on the Americans.
Right, so you're yanking it for them. People are dying.
What I told the gentleman earlier is that we think it's in the best interest of our country, frankly in the best interest of the Ukrainians to stop. No one has articulated a strategy.
Selling them out. Absolutely.
Respect, ma'am, I disagree. I think that what we're doing is we're actually forcing a diplomatic settlement. If you talk to Joe Biden,
nobody in Ukraine benefits. No one. What about the military part?
Do you think Russia can be diplomatic?
It's about the United States.
Then you just put the ally.
And this is about a separate country, and I don't think our investment in that country can go on indefinitely. I understand the disagree.
Now is you're forcing the settlement.
We're forcing both the Russians and the Ukrainians.
Russia won't settle.
Exactly. They certainly invaded Ukraine in 2022.
And
But there needs to be a settlement. Ma'am,
they are the aggressor every time.
Ma'am, I understand that that's your view, and certainly they have, and certainly I have condemned, ma'am. Please, you're interrupting. I'm speaking with you, and I'm trying to be respectful. I have condemned the invasion, but I've also condemned the perpetual. That is the policy of the administration. And I've talked to you guys now for about 5 minutes.
America's Hitler.
And
What's changed?
man, now that's a different question. I'm happy. Would you like me to talk about how I've changed my view on Donald Trump from 10 years ago? Because I talked about it a lot during the campaign, and then the American people voted and made him the president of the United States.
In our leaders. You've got no integrity.
Have
integrity in our leaders. You don't not having any integrity. That's what I expect my kids.
It must be nice to go through life and see that everybody who disagrees with you has no integrity. I have more respect for you. But ma'am, look at my 3-year-old daughter now, and I told you, I talked to you for 5 minutes, and now I did not agree to have my 3-year-old to have people run around and yell at her. And I did talk to you, and I had said, if I talk to you for a few minutes, will you leave my 3-year-old daughter alone? And you said yes. So I'd like you guys to respect it.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you.
I know that was a little bit difficult to hear. You might need to watch it again and raise the volume up a little bit louder. But essentially, they were just saying that, like, they're basically fighting for a longer war. They're fighting for us, the taxpayer dollars, to continue to fund this forever war that is being waged by a gremlin, petulant child man in Zelensky, who has taken so advantage of us. His own people are sick and tired of fighting. Putin's willing to end it. He did not agree to a ceasefire. A simple ceasefire could have been achieved even before that outburst and that disrespectful display in the Oval Office. He doesn't listen to his people. He doesn't hold free elections. He claims he's an elected leader. He claims the Ukrainians want peace, but then he kidnaps young men in broad daylight to send them to the conscripts of the front lines. Exactly what JD Vance was essentially pointing out in that meeting, when then he went absolutely nuts and ballistic. How dare you talk peace? How dare you talk diplomacy? What do you mean diplomacy? Yes, Putin attacked Ukraine. Yes, Putin is a dictator. He's tyrannical. He's been there way longer than he needs to be. But just because you're for peace, just because you're for diplomacy, does not indicate in any way, shape, or form that you're for Putin. They just can't get that through their head. I mean, these people, he's out with his 3-year-old daughter. He even took the time out to speak to you guys. I mean, JD Vance has impressed me more than anybody in the history of politics, maybe even more than Trump. I mean, I love Trump, and the American people have spoken, and I love him to death, and I'm so happy that we, the people, our voices were actually heard on November 5th. But I'm telling you right now, I think the person who's impressed me the most, the person who's gotten the most net gain points in my book, is JD Vance. He has proven time and time again that not only, because when Trump first picked him, I wasn't really sure. He has proven time and time again that he is the perfect pick, and he is just locking up that 2028 candidacy. I hope to God he runs. With all intents and purposes, he will, winning in 2028 and taking our country even further away from these really anti-radical, extreme, anti-American woke ideologies, because every single person there confronting a man with his 3-year-old daughter who was elected, who won in a mandate, who won unanimously, resoundingly, voluminously on November 5th, we the people chose him. You're attacking his I mean, this is a sickness. I want to share with you this quick clip too, because it's running rampant. This derangement, parasitic syndrome is running rampant. I want to share with you a clip of a guy in New York City chasing down a Cybertruck and doing this. This is just a quick clip. Watch this. This is a guy, and if anybody can identify this guy, please let me know in the comments. He literally chases down a Cybertruck in New York City and does this. Watch. I can't wait to get your comments on this. Let me know what you think down below. It is scary. It's getting very scary. And I'm not even giving you the half of it. The stuff that I've been investigating and researching and finding out, there are gobs and gobs of people who are out there who are advertising and sharing and hoping that our president, our elected president, gets unalived, and even worse, they're trying to organize in scary, dangerous, horrific fashion. I mean, and I stand by this because, you know, I've said this my whole entire life, my whole entire campaign and advocacy. This is all a byproduct of the live stream media. This is all a byproduct of the hate, the lies, everything they said about Trump, about us, garbage, Nazis, threat to democracy, hate, all the things that they projected about us, true Americans who were sick and tired of all our money going to forever wars, all the border becoming an absolute disaster, the worst crisis in the history of our country, Americans sick and tired of suffering needlessly every single day to just put food on the table, pay necessity bills, just the cost of living and being alive being a detriment and a burden on our backs. We're just sick and tired of transgender woke ideology lunacy entering our schools, our places of work, our businesses, every facet of our lives. You had to walk on eggshells. It felt like your soul was in a straitjacket. CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CBS, the corporate woke media is the public enemy number one to our country. I think President Trump says it best right here in his interview this morning with Mario Bartimoli. Check this out.
I was surprised at the Democrats' behavior the other night because you delivered among the most diverse, expanded audience, Republicans, Democrats, independents. Yeah. So is it just the Democrat leadership that does not see that?
There's something wrong with them. It's just something, I can't even believe it. They lost an election in a landslide. They were talking about men playing in women's sports. When I looked the other night, I made a speech. The Republicans were going wild, and the Democrats were having their little signs up, their little signs, their little tiny signs. And I said, it's unbelievable. They don't get it. They don't get it now. And I think they're going to end up being a minor party if they keep going like this, because people don't want to hear about these stupid ideas that they have. Transgender for everybody. And again, the men and women's sports, what is that, a 90 to 10 deal? I don't even know who the 10 would be. But they're fighting for it. And I try and say to myself, because you always like to understand where your opponent is, whether it's in business or anything else, is there something I don't understand? But we don't understand it.
Honestly, Mr. President, I don't think they understand it either. And I genuinely think the Democrats actually think, you know what? We came real close to winning. It wasn't our fault. It wasn't our fault. The only reason Trump won is because of racism. The only reason that Trump won is because of, they actually think this. The only reason he won is because of white supremacy. Here's the coup de grace. I believe wholeheartedly the Democrats actually think this right here. They think that Kamala would have won if she was given more time. Can you believe that? They think, well, she wasn't given enough time. She wasn't even given any votes. You usurped the entire process. There was no primary. There wasn't even a President Biden. The guy was gone. God knows who's been running the White House for the last 4 years. Jilskis? Dr. Jilskis? I believe right now, you can bookmark this. I truly believe that if Stephen A. Smith, and I'm not even a big fan of his, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan, but the Democrats are lost. They have no vision of America. They have no substance. They have no track record, no accomplishments, no feats to hang their hat on. They got Nathan. They got goose egg. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. And I truly believe that if this guy actually put his hat in the ring, I think he would be a front runner in less than 3 years. I'm not even kidding you. Jon Stewart has come out against these guys. Bill Maher is actually showing signs of like, my gosh, you guys are all idiots. Finally, somebody's saying it. What we need is somebody like the Black Messiah, Obama, to say it. Say, you guys are all nuts. Enough is enough. Crockett's and the AOCs and the Ilhans and the Rashidis and the Al Greens. Somebody needs to come out and say it to, well, they're Cyclops and Hakeem. Somebody needs to come out and say it. Check out this clip of Stephen A. Smith doing nothing but dropping straight facts.
You got the Democrats showing up for Trump's address to both houses of Congress looking like damn fools. Having videos where they dancing. You got to be kidding me. Putting 22 people on the screen at the same time, saying the same damn thing as if that message is going to resonate. Got a representative like Al Green out of Texas, 77 years old, obviously has fought the good fight, but looking incredibly immature and undisciplined. Wouldn't even give Trump a chance to speak, and he had to get removed from the House. And then yesterday, 10 Democrats joined with House Republicans to censure Al Green from Texas for his protest during President Trump's address to Congress Tuesday night. Trump didn't even have an opportunity to pass gas, and this man standing up protesting. Protesting what? He won the election. I'm on The View, and I got a bunch of ladies who I love and I respect coming up talking to me on the show, talking about there's no mandate, courtesy of Joy Behar. What mandate? Kamala Harris lost all the swing states. There was an increase with black voters, Latino voters, and young voters. He won the popular vote. He won the electoral college vote. 89% of the counties in the United States switched to Republican, but there's no mandate. And you're going to get up at 77 years of age. Why don't you just tell the truth? You didn't feel like sitting there. You know you couldn't take it. So you had to come up with a reason. Because Trump didn't give you a reason. Because he had barely spoken. And then these people holding up their signs. These Democrats looking like damn fools. I felt sad for my brother, Hakeem Jeffries, minority house leader. He sat there the whole time. But guess what? He didn't act like that. He was probably embarrassed by how they acted, like juveniles. Oh, by the way, I forgot to bring up how when Trump talked about the cancer, the kid that was suffering from cancer, and how he made him an honorary member of the Secret Service, nobody stood up. Or how he brought up Lincoln Riley, the 22-year-old who was killed by a migrant, and her mother and her sister were in attendance. They didn't stand up for that. All you did was give the impression anything that Trump favors, you're against. Wow, way to show the American people on the left you're ready to go do your job.
I mean, honestly, who could compete with Stephen A. Smith right now in the Democratic Party? Crockett? Al Green? AOC? Who? Hakeem Jeffries? One of the keys to being a great leader, you can have obviously you must have a vision, you must have a plan, you must have the confidence and to execute and carry out that plan, but you need to have one of these. You need to be able to communicate that plan in a way that resonates, that inspires, that feeds into the trials, tribulations, the pathos of the people. You need to dig. You need to be a shovel and dig into the chest of your viewers, your audience, your constituents, your people, the citizens of this great nation. And you need to be authentic and real. None of these guys are authentic and real. Stephen A. Smith, I don't need a teleprompter. I don't use it. Stephen A. Smith doesn't need a teleprompter. He has one. I know he does, but he doesn't need one. Trump doesn't need a teleprompter. Trump's proved it time and time again. He just did a 2-hour press conference from his White House desk in the Oval Office with zero teleprompter. Biden couldn't do that. Biden couldn't do 2 minutes, let alone 2 hours. Hey, Steve, I know your people probably watch this show. I'm just saying, man, I think you've got a huge opportunity right here. I said this on a post on X, I think about a week ago. I said that the political landscape right now is ripe, especially for the Democratic Party. It's ripe for a Trumpian, a Trump-esque figure to execute some massive disruption. The party right now is fertile. And if somebody jumps in there and plants their roots, somebody besides this pathetic faction of people that they have right now who exercises that same raw authenticity and actually has a vision and can resonate with people, holy macadamia nut, they got a shot. I can't wait to get your comments on this and all the stories that we covered today. Let me know down below. I really welcome and I'm eager to see what your thoughts are. As always, if you're looking to get the 100% original made in the USA merch. We have so many brand new designs in our shop. The link is in the pinned comment and in the description down below. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap on those. Tap on my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA. I'll see you soon.